Welcome to the Straight Red Card. This show is not going to be about anuses at all.
Nope.
We're going to be, there are lots of players.
Thereof.
There are lots of soccer players with funny names, dude. So,
Yeah.
we could be here all night. We talked about Yoda already. Then there's that guy that's on the Brighton U23 team.
You know, the fucking Uranus, whatever it's called.
No, his name is Gary Dicker.
Oh.
Gary Dicker. Gary Dicker. That's his name. Yeah, and then there's the guy that plays for Spartak Moscow.
I thought they were talking about the LA Galaxy second team guy.
No.
Fucking Uranus guy.
That's Marcus Furk-Uranus.
Oh, Furk-Uranus. Sorry.
Yes.
My bad.
The guy from Spartak, though, his name is Vladislav Shitoff. That's kind of gross name. It's kind of disgusting. And Man City has a U18 kid. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember. Hold on.
You don't want to fuck this one up.
No, I don't.
His 30 seconds. Why did they bring a fuck?
Jamal Simpson Pussy is his name.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No. How do you spell that?
Pussey. Is that Pusey? Simpson Pusey?
For his sake, for his sake, and for his children's sake, I would hope so.
I've only seen it in writing.
Pusey.
And it made me laugh. And I
thought,
oh my god, Simpson Pussy, what a last name that is. I hope his mom's hot, because that's a horrible name. And then at
some point, I would imagine somebody would have to do a name change. Like, dude, I'm no longer going to be called a pussy. Call me something else. Call me Smith. I'm a Smith now.
I guess if it's like Debussy, I guess it could be Pussy. But even so, that's really close to Pussy.
Still fucking close. Yeah,
it is.
I feel like you'd have to make the name change. Or you can lean into it and get a lot of recognition. Either way.
No, I think you just lean into Simpson. That's not a good name anymore either. All right. Anyhow, there is that guy on fucking FC Will who's Noah Jones' teammate in Switzerland. His name is Marcin Dickenman. That's his fucking name. I'm not making these up, folks. Go look it up. If you don't believe me, these players.
I just feel like your day is just you Googling a bunch of teams. Like, all right, here's a bunch of team names. Okay, let's see. Nothing funny in that one. Okay, next one. Next one. Oh, here's Dick and Cider. Let's go with that one. Hey,
I know, but no. What happens is, so I've been doing this tracking of all these players in Europe for so long. When I see a funny name, I just have this thing in the back of my notebook and I just write it down. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy's name is this. Yoda was one of the ones I noticed that kept coming up and over because I was doing Hobro and watching the Hobro like footage and shit. And this guy named Yoda was on the team. So I wrote it down. I'm like, that's just funny shit. Guy named Yoda. So it's not like I did it for the show, but I am going through the back of my notebook and I have a bunch of them.
You're doing it for the show.
There's a guy that plays in Greece. His name is Rooney Wankaway. I'm not kidding. His name is Rooney Wankaway. And he plays for let me see. It's Karis Kakis Artang. I'm not kidding. It's Karis Kakis Artang he plays for a team named
and his name is Wankaway.
Rooney Wankaway.
There's Kakis in the team name, and his name is Wankaway.
I mean, come on. You couldn't make this up if you tried. All right, let's get to these. I think you
might be making this up.
No, I'm not. All those are real players.
All right.
Swear to God, Brett. Everybody can look them up.
Hey, let's all praise Wankaway. Why not?
Yeah, Wankaway. Do it. It's okay. I mean, in a private setting, don't trap someone in a room and say, hey, do you mind if I wank it in front of you? That did not work out.
That's a response that the other person says, well, wank away.
It didn't work really well for Louis C.K., so don't do that, okay?
A number of people, yeah.
Don't seek approval to wank in front of others. Just wank in your own spot, all right? All right, Matt Turner. I just said, because we're doing, did a stock go up or go down? I just said it stayed the same. I didn't
Still
really.
Number one, in my opinion.
Yep. For Zach Steffen,
nobody's contending. I mean, Steffen. I mean, we're going to branch over here to Steffen, I guess, at this point, stock down, in the sense that he's no longer, in my opinion, no longer in contention for number one spot.
Correct. Yep.
So, I mean, he needs to find consistent playing time. I know his club came out and stated they have full confidence in him, but we need to start seeing more playing time.
Full confidence in him sitting the bench.
If we need a number 2,
we got full confidence in this guy. He rides a pine really well.
Either Stefan needs to find a new club, like a
alone,
maybe something. He needs to find playing time in order to compete with Turner at this point, because Turner is on fucking fire.
Yeah. And, Stefan didn't really give us any demonstration that he's really that much better with his feet. I mean, he is. But he's not so much better that it would mean
overly noticeable.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. So stock down for Stefan. Sergio Des, stock up.
We're just going to skip Sean Johnson?
No, Sean Johnson did not play, so no.
Okay, so we're going with playing time. Okay, sorry.
Sean Johnson's stock stayed exactly where it was in the crevice it was.
I have still 4th with the question mark.
Yes, 4th, maybe 3rd. Horvath loves the bench, so Johnson
he seems to show up though whenever he gets playing time with the United States team. So. He
did, but Sean's last name is Johnson, and that does make him the man. All right,
chicken cider and all,
Oh, not more of that. Hey. We're already in trouble.
All right, where are we at now?
Walker Zimmerman, I just said didn't really change. Stock up, but not like really high up, but just a little more up for Zimmerman. I thought he's come in, he's continued to show he's reliable.
Yes, I think he's basically shown that he's within our top 5, because I think consistently when looking at Berhalter's rosters, he's got at minimum 5 center backs, and I think Zimmerman's basically solidified himself as a top 5 option.
Top 5, top 6.
Yeah,
if they bring 6. Anthony Robinson stock way up. The kid has come a long way.
Yeah.
It's really obvious at this point. He's confident. He believes in what he does. He attacks relentlessly. No, he didn't do everything well. Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying his stock is up. He played really good soccer in this window.
Good in the attack, good in the defense. I don't think he had a single fucking issue this entire window. He didn't get top marks by any means, because sure, some of his crosses weren't up on par and maybe some decisions weren't there, but as a whole, I think he was absolutely solid at left back.
He basically said, this next window, there are only 2 games. I'm playing both of those. And
absolutely. No, guaranteed.
Yep.
Well, we're in that mark. Is Jamaica still listed as a red country for,
No, they're not.
Okay, then we're safe. We're safe.
Yeah, we're good.
Woo! Let's go.
Shit. Hold on. I just fucking.
You throwing shit around? What's up?
I just kicked my fucking mic over. All right, here we go.
You got so excited, you just kicked the mic. You're like, God damn it.
So excited, I couldn't hide it. Miles Robinson, stock up. I mean, what more to be said? He was great. He's just might be our best center back now. People have said, no, you're wrong. Okay, that's fine.
We'll talk about this more in a future segment here, but yes, he made mistakes. Sure. Shit fucking happens. Everybody makes mistakes, but he recovered.
He did.
And I don't think it was an issue. I think I think over the past 2 windows, by far and out, our best center back.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to get to that later, because there was a specific sub question about that from Berlin, and I'm going to address that then.
Love you, buddy.
Hopefully I'm not too drunk. All right, Chris Richards, thumbs up. It's stock up.
Yeah.
I mean, he played 90. Yeah, he had some errors, but he showed he can handle it. And he's doing it at Hoffenheim.
I was much more confident with him than I was with McKenzie.
Exactly. Going to McKenzie, stock down.
Yeah, McKenzie stock down.
I thought he played horribly, and I'm glad he started for Genk this weekend, but stock down, man.
The problem is you're looking with McKenzie with his poor performance. You're looking at Brooks, you're looking at Richards, you're looking at Miazga all stepping up here. And, obviously you already have Miles Robinson. You have Zimmerman, who's obviously in a much better position, in my opinion, than McKenzie is at this point. And you you're finding yourself he's etching his way further and further out of the roster depth. Now,
Yes.
don't get me wrong. Given if some player can't show up, say if Brooks gets injured again, then I have no problem with McKenzie jumping in there. But at this point, we're looking at a closing gap that he's working his way out of. And we'll see what happens next window, but I don't think he'll be there.
And I just think that was a shift for Lucimi, who usually plays his spot on his team at Genk. And I think Lucimi will be back in that starting position next game. Mm-hmm. George Bello, stock down.
Down, just absolutely.
Had a bad game.
Well, not a bad 2 windows. He didn't have a great first window either. And that's, hard to say because he's been played nothing but away matches, which is always going to be rough. But yeah, he definitely didn't help his stock. And quite frankly, Scally is knocking on the door. He's like, hey, let me in. I want to try this left back position.
I think Paul McCartney had a song like that. Let me in. Ooh, yeah. Let me in, baby. All right. So
that was a little creepy.
What? Oh no. Hey, man.
Hey,
come on. Hey. Giggity. Come on. All right. DeAndre Yedlin, stock stayed the same. He's a real reliable guy.
He's right. He's second right back at this point, unless Scally comes knocking on his door too.
Yeah,
but exactly. As a whole, I think bringing in Scally instead of Moore, or even Bello for that matter, and you're improving your stock, your play as a whole,
and you're offering more coverage.
Yep,
because he can do left and right. Shaq Moore down, stock down.
Yeah. Despite the fact that he finally got 90 minutes, stock down.
He did. Finally got to play 90 minutes for Tenerife and as well. So, stock down. Not a great game from him. Tyler Adams, stock up. It just became more and more evident to me.
Stock up to some extent because, quite frankly, we all knew that our midfield was pivoted on him.
Yes.
When you remove him from the equation, the midfield is...
We are broken. We are broken without him. It is more evident than ever that if there is no Tyler Adams, there is no good movement of the ball out of the back four.
I don't think it's necessarily up. I think it just solidifies our take on the fact that he's paramount for our success.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like up with like a arrow pointing towards the sky. I think it's just like a little up
angled
because little angle because it's like it's a little more obvious how important.
Pre-Viagra, right? Pre-Viagra.
Yes, right. No Viagra. No, I mean this is all natural.
All natural.
Yes. Yunus Musa stocked way the hell up.
Way up.
I mean, if that last window didn't tell you this kid can play, then you weren't paying attention.
And how he approaches the game and how key that is to our success as well. Not only that we bring up Adams and everything, but I mean, just Musa's ability to. And there's been a number of videos talking about like how he looks over his shoulders before he receives the ball, and he just moves in a fluid motion.
He glides
forward,
he glides,
and that's the key. Is our midfielders that aren't Adams are constantly moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't know what that's all about.
Weston McKennie, same. I don't think he went up. I don't think he went down. He's just kind of, that was Weston. I mean, he needs to fix a few things, but I think generally when he was in there, we were better.
Quite frankly, McKennie, even though he had some sus plays here and there, he is still hands down one of our best midfield options. So, his stock hasn't risen, hasn't decreased, but it's remained the same. He's still one of our key midfielders.
Yep. Christian Roldan, I think it stayed the same. He was who he was. I don't think it went down. I don't think it went up. He didn't have a particularly great or awful game, but he only played for what? I don't know,
25 minutes. Yeah,
20 minutes.
It was somewhere in that range. And quite frankly, it's what you would expect from Roldan in that sense. Is he gets thrown in there and he's supposed to fight and work for the last X amount of minutes. And you're right. The stock didn't increase, didn't decrease. It stayed the same because that's what most people expected Roldan to do.
Yeah. Luca De La Torre, stock up.
Yes.
I think that he got only a handful of minutes, but when he played, he looked really good. And why he never got to play, why he didn't play at all in the second game is still a mystery to
Maybe
everybody.
Maybe we can ask Berhalter that question.
Fuck him. All right. He fucked up, man. Come on.
Dude, come on.
Put De La Torre in the game, man.
But we've talked about this ad nauseum in the sense that Panama, you had the opportunity to play a number of players and still rotate them around without necessarily playing the players you played. Nothing against, Acosta and Leggett pairing in the midfield. Nothing against throwing Roldan late in the match when we needed a goal. But quite frankly, we had a number of players sitting on the bench that we all wanted to see more of get a chance. If we went to Panama, we played our young options and we failed. That's on us.
Yeah.
But at least we tried. At least we tried.
At least you put De La Torre in as a starter and we were going for it.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Even if the odds are against him and all the chips are stacked against his favor, in the sense that we're playing an away match, it's never going to be easy. You have the crowd behind the opposition, obviously. But I mean, give him the chance.
Again, this comes down to Gregg Berhalter trying to do something that he's comfortable with players he's really comfortable with.
We'll grind those results out.
I mean, his ass was puckered so fucking tightly you couldn't have shoved a fucking toothpick up that motherfucker. I mean, he was so puckered up for that game. He just said, "Oh, I'm going to play the most comfortable lineup possible." Oh my God. If he puckered any harder, he wouldn't be able to shit.
Fucking create a diamond.
Yeah. A diamond could come out of that asshole. He was so puckered. All right. Let's do Busio. I say stock up.
Stock up. Yeah. I mean, guy only had like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And all of his passes were on key. He constantly moved forward and getting into the attack. Had a couple of opportunities himself. I mean, it was a good 15 minutes, and he should have gotten more.
He should have. Yeah.
Should have.
Kellen Acosta stocked down, played one game, sucked. And
sure, but we're in that weird position that we don't have an alternative to number 6 at this point, unless you want to throw McKinney back there. Even if Acosta's stock goes down, you're still like, well, he's going to be included because who else are we going to bring in for that position?
Musa?
No.
Maybe Musa could play it. He's not physical, though.
Torre?
So, Luca
he's played the position before.
I know. I mean, there are other options you could try.
Johnny Soccer?
Johnny Cardosa? Maybe even Alan Sonora? I don't know.
No, this is out of. How are you supposed to integrate these players into your team, Derek? Come on.
You can't integrate them if you don't play them, Greg. I thought that's what you said. And, we could have integrated Scally, but we didn't do it. We just left him at home. All right.
Maybe next time, though.
Legit stock down.
Yes.
I mean, way down. And I guess we'll get into the rumors in the next segment about Legit and his bad behavior and not celebrating with the team.
He went out in the night. He went out in town in Columbus.
Being a stick in the mud in general, I mean, dude, you got to celebrate with your team when they win, even though you weren't in the 18. Don't throw a fucking hissy. And we don't know all the information, but I have some reports that we'll talk about in the next segment.
Interesting.
Yes, I've got a few tidbits here and there. Paul Areola, stock stayed the same. Didn't change for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
He is who he is. Zardes stock went down, and then he scored twice this weekend.
Well, that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Because again, I think Zardes and Areola were pretty much stocked the same in the sense that they are who they are. We know exactly what we're going to get by calling them in and playing them.
Well, we didn't get much out of either of them in that middle game. They were bad. We didn't even get standard Zardes and standard Legit.
Wait, standard Zardes. What are you saying, that another player didn't kick the ball off his face and score?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We didn't get a lucky goal. He played for 70 minutes.
Yeah.
No face goals, no ass goals, nothing. So stock down, Giassi. Get luckier. Next time.
People were talking about Zardes's goal. He had a goal over the weekend where the ball was a nice cross and he laid that header down into the ground, and it went in. This is like a boom right into the ground. And people are like, man, if only Sargent could do this. I'm like, well, no, Sargent could do that. It's just if only you get the service. But then again, we talk about his opportunity that he missed so badly.
Oh,
But
today, yeah.
regardless. Beside the point.
Yeah.
With Zardes and with Areola, we know exactly what we're going to get. Sometimes it may be better, sometimes it might be a little worse, but it's going to be a very small fluctuation from what we know.
Well, to me, Zardes was more disappointing than Areola in the last one.
With Zardes, we're also in the point as who do we call up after Pepe? I feel like after Pepe, it's kind of a toss-up who we call up.
It is a toss-up.
Maybe you just kind of go with who's hot at the moment, you know?
Yes, you do.
But what if it's constantly Zardes? Zardes is scoring 2 goals over the weekend. What if he scores 2 goals every weekend until the next window? We call him up.
Well, then he'll be called up again.
And then what if he stinks it up again?
Well, then he just can't. He can't play in CONCACAF, I guess. I don't know, but
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I get it. That's fine. I still think he was worse than I expected this window. Brendan Aronson, stock up.
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, that stock's always rising right at this point.
I mean, people are even talking about maybe he should start over Reyna on the right. I think that's crazy, but it's not insane because Aronson's that good. He's a fucking worker bunny.
So it's interesting because Reyna, Pulisic, and Aronson, even though they all play similar positions in Berhalter's setup, they don't quite play the same type. I mean, I think Aronson's more along the lines of Pulisic, if you will, if you have to compare the two.
Yep.
Than of Reyna. In all honesty, Reyna's he's his own winger in this sense as a whole. And you can make the argument whether or not you want him in the midfield or out wide, up higher. But assuming that you're Gregg and you're going to stick with your guns, does Aronson start over Reyna? Does he start over Pulisic if everybody's healthy and finding playing time with their clubs?
No, he doesn't. But
unfortunately, but that's a great player to have off your bench.
He's a great super sub. I watched the K Golazo show, the last one, and it was titled this: Berhalter does not owe Pulisic a spot on U.S. men's national team roster to face Mexico. What? What's that title? What are you guys doing? Why are you doing that? That's a horrible title. Berhalter does not owe Pulisic a spot on the U.S. men's national team roster to face Mexico. In what way has Pulisic not earned a spot? He plays for Chelsea. That's ridiculous. I know that's.
Well, I mean, I guess the argument you can make is if
that's
Pulisic's
clickbait.
Yeah, absolutely is clickbait. But what if Pulisic, finally recovers health and he doesn't see playing time for Chelsea?
I'm still bringing him in. Bringing him in.
I get. Well, what was the title one more time?
Berhalter does not owe Pulisic a spot on U.S. men's national team roster to face Mexico. Okay. Roster?
No.
Roster?
I'll disagree in the sense that if Pulisic is healthy, I will absolutely throw him in that roster.
What
any day of the fucking week.
They should have said if they meant starting lineup, then whoever they hired to put the videos up doesn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And I love Jimmy. We love Jimmy. We both love Jimmy. Okay. We've had him on the show back in the days. But this is a horrible clickbait bullshit because even in the whole show, the answer to that, because since that doesn't have a question mark, that's not a question mark at the end of it either.
Yeah.
It's a statement. Berhalter does not owe Pulisic a spot on the U.S. men's national team roster to face Mexico. No question mark at the end of it. Nothing. So that's a horrible fucking clickbait bullshit. And whoever they've hired to do their subject thing, they need to fix that because I watched the show and the whole show was Jimmy saying, no, Pulisic needs to be on the team. So it contradicts the fucking subject of the goddamn post or the video. Excuse me.
It's clickbait at its best, but quite frankly, that's how you draw the views in there. It would have been better if there was a question mark in there because then you have plausible deniability and to say like, no, we're arguing the point that if he's healthy, he deserves a spot. He deserves that spot in the roster.
And that's what Jimmy said.
Yeah.
So that clickbait didn't work. They got a lot.
Well, maybe it did. Who knows?
Well, they got a lot of thumbs
There you go.
down, and by the time when I screen captured it, they only had 534 views. So, whatever, guys, come on, just let's get back to being authentic and real and subject your fucking shows the way they should be subjected. Don't try to clickbait people or whoever you hire to do that. Tell them not to do that anymore. Ricardo,
they're currently at 1,400 views right now. With an equivalent like to dislike views that we see. Well, not maybe a little bit more actually, but
no, they have a lot more.
Well, they're 136 to 8, which is definitely more in a ratio standpoint.
8's a lot.
Yeah.
We've never done 8. We've never done 8, and we've had a lot more than 1,400 views.
We were close to 8 at one point.
We have we have a show that's heading towards 3,000 with 0 dislikes. So, all right, let's do Ricardo Pepe, thumbs up. Yes, yeah. Arrow up. Matthew Hoppy, man, I gave him a slight arrow up because I thought like the brief moment he played, he showed some stuff that we need.
Again, just like with when you score a goal, it's regardless of who you play, it's the fact that you score a goal. Even if you score a goal against Cuba, it's still scoring a goal. So him playing well in that 15 to 20 minutes that he got, I think still warrants the fact that it's stock up. Quite frankly, I thought he didn't really have that many mistakes.
No.
That small little stint. There was the one where he had like the bad first touch, and he ended up offloading it to I forgot who it was. He offloaded to somebody, and they
I know what you're talking about.
Maybe it was Busio at that point.
Yeah,
but he had that opportunity where, like, if he had a cleaner first touch, maybe he would have been able to turn on goal. But he didn't have the cleanest of first touches, so he laid it off, and it worked out well. But nothing amounted to it. But I mean, he had to play where the ball was going to go out of bounds, and he stuck with it and kicked it back into the 6. Instead of a goal kick. I thought that was. I mean, just the dedication, the heart that he showed. Yeah, I think. Stock up, absolutely.
Stock up, and then Timothy Weah stock slightly up. I mean, not a bunch. He had one bad game, one good game, but the bad game wasn't all his fault. So
everybody had a bad game. Game. So no. So some people were actually harping on Weah against Costa Rica and he wasn't that great. He didn't do that much. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm misremembering. But then they have the every touch by Weah, and I'm like watching it. I'm like, no, anything the ball came to him, everything was like golden. He had a great game against Costa Rica, so I wasn't misremembering. It was funny to hear that criticism, but then watching the highlight reel of just him and all of it. Well, maybe a couple things here and there, but for the most part, 95% of the stuff that he did was good.
Isn't misremembering like a Bush thing? Didn't he say that? George Bush Jr.?
Strategery, if anything.
No, but I think he said I misremembered that. I think that's where that whole word comes from, because it's not a word. You don't misremember things. That's not a word. I'm sure. I guarantee it's a word now.
It's a word now and / Urban Dictionary, so it's all okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Shit, I play Bananagram with my mom on the weekends, every other weekend.
What a fun game! I mean, as much as nerdy as that sounds, I enjoy that game.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
I love that game. But we're constantly having to deal with the fact that the dictionary, Webster's, which the game is judged against, keeps adding words and words that weren't words. Like the word okay used to be O-K-A-Y. Well, now it's okay. It's in the dictionary. Okay, O and K. That's a word too. And when I was a kid, we were told, no, when you use that in a sentence, it has to be spelled out. O-K-A-Y.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. It's an official fucking word.
Fuck you, English majors. You included, Derek.
Yeah, I know. But I am also a history major and a political science minor. So that's back when they let you do that. They don't let you do that anymore. You can't get 3 degrees anymore when you go to college. They're like, no. You can come back and do that. All right. That means you got to pay more money. All right, so that's it for this segment. We will come back with the final segment where we take your questions and we answer them. You, the subscriber,
and we tell you how you're wrong,
or we tell you how you're right. Oh no, we might tell them they're right too. Don't be a wanker Ray.
Yeah, no wink.
Don't be Rooney wank away. Anyhow, until the next time on the Straight Red Cart, make sure you like, subscribe, and as I said before in the other show, send to somebody that thinks you like them and you don't like them at all. You're like, no, that he's icky, or
that way when they start bitching at you, you could be like, dude, I was trying to hook you up with some great soccer content. Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't like it. Quit being a dick.
Yeah. And so if they hate it, then that'll more confirm the fact that the reason you don't like that person is legit. And
terrible taste.
They don't like our show. Then you're like, okay, now they're off the list. The thing that'll be tricky for them, because they want you to like them, is that they're going to watch the show and they're probably going to write back and say, oh, I really like that. Thank you for sending that.
Why do they keep talking about anus?
Or they might say that. They might say that. And if they say that and they have no sense of humor, it'll just confirm your assessment of their character, which is crummy and shitty. Yes. So move on, move along.
Pretty much.
Until the next time on Straight Red Cart. Peace.